Guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank for another round of Comic Corner. I'm trying to make that sound a bit more natural. And we're going to get right into it with Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, Worlds Without a Justice League, Wonder Woman. And I sort of realized that this whole book title doesn't quite make sense, because this isn't the Worlds Without a Justice League. This is the Justice League's ideal dream world. And this issue kind of doesn't explain that, like, at all. Like, these past couple of issues really only semi-sell the idea like, this is their ideal world. This is a world they would never want to leave. And we'll get into that more when we talk about, we'll get to the end of this. So let's talk about Wonder Woman. This is written by Tini Howard. So, yeah. So anyway, this story starts off with Etta Candy going through her inauguration for her second term as president. I'm like, okay, cool. From a Wonder Woman standpoint, she is like the best choice. I think from Diana's perspective, out of that or Steve. But Etta fits the whole Amazon thing, like, you know, women empowerment. There's even statues in the Capitol of what looks to be Amazons, or just women in general, which isn't a problem in itself. Well, maybe the Amazons, but I don't get that. I don't know. Anyway, Diana shows up because Etta was using like a very special book to place her hand on, take her oath of office, which felt a bit weird, but, you know, whatever. So Diana comes in and is like, hey, I know your man security isn't that great. Let me take you to better security, to a better party. And she's made an honorary Amazon on Themyscira, this triad of Amazons. So in other words, the different Amazon factions have all sort of come together in this peace. Artemis even seems to get along with Diana, like, openly, so there's that. And Etta is made an honorary Amazon of Themyscira, or wherever, of this triad. Even Yara Flora's there. So like, okay. No sign of Cassie or Donna. Yeah, say the quiet part out loud, why don't you? So anyway. The next day, Diana sees the tower, sees something going on. She goes up there like, hey guys, what's going on? And she's asking what's going on. Like, hey, can I see what's going on in that there hole over there? Paul's just like, no, you can't see what's going on down there. No, you can't. There is no hole. Don't look at it. And Diana, being Diana, decides to not listen to her mother again. And like, I'm going down that hole. And there's a rocket in there. And you're like, are you making weapons from man's world? And it's kind of weird that she would still use that terminology. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, Hippolyta's like, oh, you can't go down there. She sends the guards down there like, look, go get her, but don't harm her. I'm like, she's Wonder Woman? Unless they're the elite Amazon guards, I don't think they're going to be much of a threat to her. But as she falls down there, she gets visions of an explosion of Dr. Psycho. And, yeah, it turns out the Well of Souls is down here. And while down there, apparently, the one rule for this guard was to never let Diana enter the Well of Souls. And, yeah, so down there she meets Dr. Psycho. Dr. Psycho is like this very... well, if you've seen the Harley Quinn series on HBO Max, you know who Dr. Psycho is. I haven't. I have no reason to watch the Harley Quinn show. So I don't quite get Dr. Psycho, but he always seems like nothing but a joke. Like, he's probably a character that needs to be revamped in the later years. I don't know. But anyway, she acts like, Dr. Psycho, what are you doing here? What nefarious scheme are you planning? And Dr. Psycho's like, oh, you have no idea what's going on here. My hands are clean in this, figuratively. So anyway, he talks about what happened, like, look, before you Amazon showed up, like, we men were always doing what we wanted to do, which was destroy each other, and get, like, yeah, a big alpha male war, and whatnot. I'm like, okay, I get it. Bit stupid, but okay. But then you Amazons came in and just stopped our fighting and started fixing everything we destroyed, and we had to admit you were better than us, but we never do it out loud, because we're men. I'm like, oh, okay. But anyway, apparently, The Amazons then took Dr. Psycho, or I think the story here is implying Wonder Woman was involved in the taking of Dr. Psycho, and that's how he ended up in the Well of Souls. So Hippolyta shows up and go like, "Oh, Diana, you done did it now. You done did it now." So it turns out that Dr. Psycho has pretty much undergone the Prometheus effect. In other words, he's trapped down here, something horrible happens to him, and something comes to feed on it. In this case, it's Gaia, Earth, the goddess of the earth, and she is feeding off of Dr. Psycho's blood, which doesn't seem natural. So apparently Dr. Psycho was busy doing his thing, and causing war and whatnot, and the Amazon stopped it, and Diana trapped him down here. Alright, and like Prometheus, every dawn an eagle comes, plucks his liver out and eats it, and then it grows back. So the cycle goes on and on and on and on. And apparently this was Diana's idea. This was Diana's choice to trap Dr. Psycho down here, have him bled out, and boop boop ba doop. And Hippolyta says, like, we erased your memory so you would never remember the truth of what you did, but your connection to the truth is so strong. I'm like, this is weird. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, okay, whatever. So then there's a rumble going on. So it turns out that rocket is designed that... So a prophecy came up that says when Diana finds out, the world will collapse. Like, man's world will fully collapse. And so I think it makes sense because Diana clearly does not approve of what she's done. So she's going to take Dr. Psycho out, which means God no longer gets her tribute, which means God's like, you know what, just destroy the whole thing, whatever. So the Amazon's like, and we are leaving, so man's world can just face its own fate. I'm like, oh, okay. Diana chooses to stay behind, because of course she does, and then she finally has like this cathartic moment with Dr. Psycho, like, alright, tell me the truth. And Dr. Psycho poses the question, why would Wonder Woman stay here? Why would Wonder Woman keep going to man's world? Why would she choose man's world over her own people? And the sort of question is that Diana, it's really sort of poses the issue that Diana is here because on Themyscira, she's among peers. On man's world, she's not a peer. She's more of a god there than she is now as just the daughter of Zeus or even just an Amazon. She's just a slightly more skilled Amazon than Themyscira, but on Earth, she's basically the Juggernaut. She's basically the female equivalent to Superman. And it sort of makes her feel special. I'm like, okay, she'll be a god forever on Earth. But, she chose to stay for this. And this reminds me a bit of Wonder Woman, the true Amazon, where there's a sort of horrible flaw to Wonder Woman's character that she has to grow and overcome, which actually leads her to being Wonder Woman, which is, I think, a really great thing. But anyway, she goes through, and she was like, you know what? What I desire more than anything else is for people to for people like you to be wrong. I'm like, so Diana doesn't... So Diana's... So anyway, she realized, like, hey, I gotta get out of here. Or I'm not sure if she realized she's in a trap. She just... What she wants is for Dr. Psycho to make himself a better man. That's the justice she wants. And I don't quite get how this is supposed to be the perfect world for her. So... For this to be the perfect world for her, what Dr. Psycho said has to be true about her. That she does come to man's world. She does all this to feel special, to be a hero. She goes here for the congratulations, to feel better than other people. Which, okay, but these are all one-shots. So are we really going to delve into the consequences of what this story is implying? And if that isn't it, how is this her perfect world? The Amazons are gone. So there's no connection to her mother, to her Amazonian sisters. The Earth is doomed, going by what was said there. Gaia, the spirit of Earth, can no longer handle this, and there won't be 5 special rings sent to 5 special young people, so there's no Captain Planet coming in. So I don't get any of this. Like, the perfect world should be one she doesn't want to leave. Look at Superman and Jon Stewart's. And Superman's, he gets to raise John Kent. Alright? He gets to finally be the dad and have the experience he didn't get to have because Brian Michael Bendis came and aged John up. As much as I don't really like that story, it at least made sense this is what Clark would want more than anything. In Jon Stewart's story, he gets to bring his sister back to life. He gets to, help his mom out on the farm, and he gets to like occasionally come in and help with threats that the Green Lantern Corps can't handle. He gets the best of both worlds there. He gets a family life and a superhero life, which just goes like boop and comes back down. That's it. That's one way to look at that. But what's also weird is that how John sort of merges the idea that she can't just be brought back. She has to be like the central power battery. This is where this whole thing sort of falls apart. Now, some of these stories, the one shots in the background, Hawk Girl's story about wanting to become mortal so she could die. To me, I think that makes sense for someone like Shaira, who when she dies, she's reborn and has to start the whole thing over again. To know that her one life is her last life might be exactly what she wants, to live that the current life she's living is her last one. Makes sense, because she's going to live all the fun stuff in this perfect world. She'll never die in a convention. Like, then it'll be, well, this is where I die. But no, she'll always believe she'll die. And that's great. Martian Manhunter is also weird, but whatever. But that one sort of felt like it was a flaw to begin with, because, like, what is your perfect world? They're like, well, my perfect world would probably still be Mars with my actual family. But whatever. And Barry was stuck in pretty much the Leave It to Beaver world, because what he really wanted was a family life. And Wally or someone from the Flash book had to pull him out. I didn't like. It was weird that wasn't given a one shot. But whatever. This just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't endear you to Wonder Woman. It actually, because it doesn't commit to either of those ideas, that Diana's in a perfect world or that Diana's in an imperfect world because that's what she actually wants. Because it doesn't really say those things. And then Diana's like, that's what people think, and I hope they don't think. I'm like, and then why is this world so flawed that she easily figures out it's fake? This is why I don't get it. Like, it's a crap trap. There we go. Anyway, let's talk about a really good story. Batman vs. Robin by Mark Waid. Yes, Mark Waid has decided to stop complaining, stop being a horrible person, and write some comic books again. And he's currently writing Batman Superman World's Finest, which is a really good book. This one sort of pulls off the events of that one, as well as Josh Williamson's Robin book with Damian Wayne. So this issue starts off with a little bit of a recap. Well, not even a recap, sort of a summary of Damian Wayne and the unique character he is. Like, how he's part of two worlds. One part being, say, that of, he's the son of Talia al Ghul, the daughter of the demon. This entire sort of dark underground network that seeks to rule the world or restart the world. They're going to kill a lot of people to do it. And then the other half is he's the son of Bruce Wayne, of Batman, of this amazing legacy that says that in spite of everything, we're going to try to do this. There's a better way to do this. We don't have to use wholesale slaughter to make the world a better place. And they decide to do that in the worst place on Earth, Gotham. And then it's talking about the falling out that Robin and Batman have had, the death of Alfred. And speaking of Alfred, that's where this story really begins. When Bruce is at Wayne Manor, he is met by Alfred Pennyworth. And let's be clear, Alfred has been dead for well over a year. In the pages of Tom King's Batman, City of Bane, of all the things to keep going from Tom King's Batman run, the death of Alfred is the hill DC wants to die on. But anyway, Alfred's here. We're all kind of freaking out. Bruce is in no mood, because you think about who could do this. Clayface, Dr. Hurt, Cornelia Stirk, Karma, Hugo Strange, the Court of Owls. All of them could have engineered this, could have decided, like, hey, let's get to Wayne Manor, let's mess with Bruce Wayne or Batman's head, and bring Alfred Pennyworth back. And Alfred is like, Master Bruce, I'll show you, I'm not... he all of a sudden remembers the last few minutes before he died. He's like... Bane's taking over the city, he's in Wayne Manor, he's got Damian, we gotta stop him, and so he's remembering moments before he died. So, that's interesting. So Bruce is confused, but there's also part that really wants this to be true. So, he gives him the questionnaire, asks him what's going on, asks him questions that only Alfred would know, which I think is a really great way to go about this, and then he decides, like, let's go to the Batcave. And he lets Alfred lead the way. So in other words, there's no, hey, you show me where. No, you show me where. You're Alfred. You know how to get to the Batcave. And he goes in, and he's met by Damian, looking really sus. Jakeem Williams, I think Johnny Thunder is also his name, and Timothy Hunter, the world's greatest magician, eventually. So it was like, okay, weird ensemble. They attack, and because apparently Damien's had it, he's like, you know what, Father, it's time you and I put an end to our relationship, and by put an end to it, I mean it's time I put you in the ground, and I became Batman, because that is my goal, that is my destiny, that is what I deserve to be Batman. I'm like, that is still highly debated on who should be the next Batman. My money's on Tim at this point, but whatever. So, like, Batman's like, you know what, this is cool and all, but I'm in no mood, and also, this is still my house. I'm like, all right. So the fight goes in. The problem is Damien does know pretty much what his father's capable of, what he can do, and Batman is certain, like, you know what, this is definitely my son. This is Damien. There's the egos there and everything. So this is Damien, or something close to it. And so the fight ensues. The problem is, though, the team that Damien's brought with him makes no sense if you think about it. So Timothy Hunter is prophesized, is destined to be the world's greatest magic user. Like, he will be top tier. The problem is, this isn't him. This ain't it. He's not at that stage yet. So Batman goes up, knocks him out. I mean, that's kind of it, because he's just a kid at this point. Timothy Hunter has a magic screwdriver. And the reason it's a magic screwdriver is because he didn't want to use an actual wand. He's like, I need something I can just sort of carry around. A stick looks stupid. A screwdriver. There we go. I think he just watched the Rugrats, and then he watched Doctor Who and thought that was the best route to go. So then Jakeem Thunder. I totally got his name wrong. Actually, I think Jakeem Williams is probably his full name. His actual name. And he has a genie. Like, he gets unlimited wishes for that genie. And so, what do we do? What do we do with a guy that can just bring the T-Rex in the Batcave to life? That's a good question. Well, the problem is he's still just a kid, and his entire powers and his entire skill set is based off of whether or not he's conscious enough to do it. Like, there's no durability. He doesn't have any combat skills. His whole purpose is wish for the genie to do something. The genie does it. That's it. So if you knock the kid out, boop, boop, doop, we're done. And so that's kind of it. Damien would not be this stupid. He would not. There's no point in bringing those two there. So something's definitely up. But anyway, we can't think about that because the Robin suit of Jason Todd comes to life and starts messing with Batman, and then the other bat suits come to life. But then Damien's sort of groove is stopped by seeing Alfred. And he sort of freaks out, like, no, you can't be here. What's going on? And this has been something weighing on Damien's conscience since it happened. He has blamed himself for Alfred's death because, in essence, he was responsible for it. Bane gave strict orders: if anyone comes into Gotham City, or even Wayne, let alone Wayne Manor, I will kill Alfred Pennyworth. And Damien snuck in anyway. All right? So, yeah, he does blame himself for it. And it's been a big thing. So you would think, seeing this, Damien would be more hesitant, but it's just like, you know what? He's not falling for it, and he's going to kill Alfred. So this is something else that tells me this probably isn't Damien exactly, because even if Damien thought it wasn't real, there'd be some more hesitation. Like, I think the risk would outweigh the potential whatever benefit of killing a fake Alfred. But anyway, Bruce comes in like he's not going to lose his dad again. He runs off with Alfred in the Batcave. Damien tracks him down, and clearly Damien is making this is personal for Damien. This is like some sort of like little temper tantrum. He's even pulled a gun on Alfred and Batman, and I'm pretty sure that is the same gun used to kill his parents. So this also doesn't feel like Damien in a nutshell, because this is low. This is beyond low. So I don't know. So they escape, and Bruce wants to take Alfred somewhere, keep him safe while he goes to figure out what's up with Damien. And Alfred's like, no, I can't. But Bruce points out, look, you have a daughter, an actual daughter, Julia Pennyworth. You have a granddaughter who I totally didn't even know about that. Probably just came up in the story. But it's like, you know what, I can't lose you again. I'll deal with Damien. And Alfred's like, it doesn't matter. Damien is his family too. And they father-son hug. It gets you here, and a little bit here, and a little bit further down, depending on what you had. And he's like, fine, all right, we'll do it. And so he points out, so then we cut to Salem and the Tower of Fate, where Damien drops off his chuckleheads. So something's up with them. They're possessed too, which you probably could tell earlier on in the book. So the question is, who is Damien working for? Like, what is going on? who's pulling the strings here? And then we cut to back to Batman and Alfred, and it's all about, yeah, so this is all I got. Not good, not good. Some gas pellets, explosives, and a miniature laser. This ain't it. This ain't it. But luckily, I have a key here. All right, it's a gift from Zatanna, and this door, this like whatever key, whatever door I use this key on will lead me to her home. I'm like, Bruce, Zatanna gave you a key, so that no matter where you are, you can visit her at her home. You sly dog. You sly. Anyway, he goes to see Zatanna, and she is yeah, she's well, if it makes you feel better, she's dead and not dead. Schrodinger's noose. I'm like, dark, clever, and whatnot. So apparently the magic users have been punished, and they're supposed to suffer. Like, Zatanna is currently both dead and not dead. Swamp Thing and Constantine are like sort of like slowly fusing together. Jason Blood and Etrigan are like in this sort of weird sort of state, like they're stuck between transformed and not transformed. They can't even like call it off. Like, so it's like, okay, weird. And Zatanna and Man-Bat have been stuck something. So the question is, what's going on? And they say Damien's involved in this. So Damien was there. So the question is, what is going on? And I don't know. So the Dark Realms say that somehow, in some way, he's poisoned the magic. I'm like, well, Damien tends to poison a lot of things. But the question is, what's going on? And it turns out the benefactor for this is the devil Nezat. And he's been busy, as he's been summoned by Mother Soul. And from the looks of it, let's see here, I see Dr. Fate's helmet. Oh, crap. Alan Scott's lantern. I believe is that Nightmaster's? I think it is. I believe that's Blue Devil's staff. Or, yeah, it's Blue Devil's. And someone else's cloak, too, he's holding. So the question is, how do we get here? And I think we'll find out next issue. But overall, Batman vs. Robin was a really great story. Returning Alfred, seeing this more deteriorated version of Bruce and Damien's relationship, which we thought they'd fixed. Whatever. This is apparently going to lead into the play a bigger role in the upcoming reboot DC's doing, because of course they are. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. This is actually the first time I've enjoyed seeing this title, Batman vs. Robin. Because the movie, no, not again. But anyway, now that we've talked about that, we've got some non-comic news to talk about. Yeah, so leave a thoughts in the comment section. I'll catch you all later. This is about your Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.